What's up, guys? Welcome once again to No Flips, Just Figs, where it's always all about the figs. So, I've had a couple of weeks with these figures, New Japan Wave 2 from Super 7. And, like said in the original videos, when I reviewed each one individually, these are great figures. They are really, really good figures. I think Super 7 definitely improved upon the first wave. Like I said, if you were disappointed with Wave One, I totally understand. There was some issues, with the articulation. There was some issues with quality control. Where there was some paint splatter on the figures. The skin tone seemed extremely heavy-handed. For instance, on the Okada figure, it seemed like much darker than it needed to be. The Will Ospreay figure, with that kind of a dual tone, shading on the skin tone. I wasn't a big fan of that, but they were still okay. It was Super Seven's first, I think, experience with you know uh, this kind of figure. Because they're not cartoons. So they're human. And I guess it's more complicated to do a human or an action figure of a human versus a cartoon character such as Thundercats or Masters of the Universe. So not to mention they're trying to make these during a pandemic. So I totally understand the shortcomings if there were any. Series two or Wave two, definitely an improvement upon Wave one. Not perfect, but definitely an improvement. The soft goods, of course, head and shoulders above the rest in that arena. Hugh Rumble's jacket, beautiful. Evil's, entrance coat, just amazingly detailed. Naito's sweater, incredible as well. Just the detail to the fabric goods, even with Wave One, I thought it was impeccable. As far as the action figures themselves, I think they're also very good. The skin tone it seemed much softer. Much applied much more uh, with a softer tone. Not so heavy-handed as with Series One. So you can really tell that Super Seven and Brian Flynn kind of listened to some of the concerns that collectors had from Wave One and improved on Wave Two. And I'm certain that if there is a Wave Three, Four, Five, so on and so forth, those will also see some improvements. Everything is you get better with experience. Just doing it over and over again. But I really do love these figures. I really do recommend them. Just because it's something that we're very lucky to have. And I really thank Brian Flynn and all the people at Super Seven that had the foresight to invest time, invest money in creating these figures, along with New Japan Pro Wrestling, because it's something that as a collector I've been waiting for a long time. For I'm still, of course, wanting to get a good Muta, Ultimo Dragon, Masahiro Chono, some of these legends that we have not had yet. Storm Collectibles, of course, did give us Jushin Thunder Liger, which I'm very grateful and happy for. But it is outside of the scale of Mattel or even Super Seven or Jazzwares. It's just too large of a figure. So if Super Seven can, give us a Super Seven New Japan Jushin Liger, Masahiro Chono, Great Muta, Ultimo Dragon, I would be eternally grateful to Brian Flynn and all the guys at Super 7. But, to continue on with the review, the one critique that I do have are the championship belts. The championship belts, unfortunately, I think they did kind of go backwards with them. They're still very difficult to strap on, to the figures. Um, they're still very dull, just very plain Jane, so to speak. I think Wave One, even with their plain Jane look, they're still better than Wave Two. So that I am a little bit disappointed that they didn't improve upon the championship belt. But I'm sure Brian Flynn and the guys at Super Seven are taking note of it, and I'm certain that they will do their best. to improve on this. But generally, just overall, I'm really, really happy, with the figures. When you kind of compare them to Wave 1, you can see the smoother articulation, just a better paint deco. I really didn't see any quality control issues paint wise, application on the figures. I think they were all spot on. The tooling, just the way that these figures look is just amazing. Just look at Bushi and his mask, the tone, the paint deco, the detail. It's just really, really beautiful. I mean, evil. You can't say enough good things about this figure. This soft good, this fabric, the stitching, everything is just really beautiful. Naito. I mean, another thing that also really like that was improved on was the head scan. The facial scan. It's a lot closer, to resembling the character than it was in Wave One. For instance, with Okada, uh, not a big fan of the head scan with Okada. The skin tone again. I thought the paint application was very heavy handed. With these figures in Wave One, so wasn't a big fan. Will Osprey, for instance, the skin tone application again, that dual tone that Toy Biz and Marvel tried with the TNA figures. I was never a fan of it. Seemed I don't know, just wasn't a fan of it. The dual skin tone and the shading application, just not a big fan of it. I think it looks very awkward. Now Ishii and Tanahashi, they were perfect. I really did think they got those two, perfect. Those were the two that I was very, very happy with. And I'm very happy with series Wave 2, as I mentioned, and I hope to see Wave 3. Now, we haven't had any information from Brian Flynn or Super 7 about Wave 3. Hopefully, we'll have some information soon about that. But, if they do release them, I am absolutely going to purchase them. I'll keep you guys updated on my order for Super 7's uh, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, as well as the Good Brothers. As soon as I receive those, I think they've been pushed back now until February, according to Ringside Collectibles. So, we'll have to wait a little bit longer for them, but hopefully it'll be worth the wait. I'll have those reviewed as soon as I receive them as well. But overall, very happy with this wave. Absolutely happy with it. I really can't say enough good things about this. Now, another thing, of course, that we have to touch on is, of course, the ability to, uh, interchange of course, the interchangeable heads, the fabric goods. For instance, this is Naito's shirt. It came with it, but you can, of course, apply it onto Bushi. We have Evil, here without his garment, looking great. I think the design is just really, really, really cool. Great paint deco, just really, really good looking figure. Just and again, you can tell the skin tone application, the paint application, much softer. Just a very, very good application. Hiromo Takahashi, beautiful figure as well. Uh, swapping the head, swapping the hands, not very difficult at all to do. I would though recommend still heating them up a little bit, at least either with a hair dryer, a heat gun, just so that you don't wear out those pins. I mean, eventually, I would assume that if you keep on removing, applying, removing, applying, removing, applying, that will create some damage. Please don't boil your figures, friends. Don't let friends boil their action figures. Use a heat gun or a blow dryer, hair dryer at least. Uh, boiling will damage the paint deco, will damage the figure itself. So don't do that. But looks great. I think they look great with Wave One. I think Ishii, Tanahashi, just an amazing looking a bunch of figures. Even Wave One without with all their issues, I think they're still great. I'm really glad that we had them. I'm really again grateful to Brian Flynn and Super 7 for giving us these figures. So, if you guys watch this video, thank you very much. From all collectors, thank you very much. All these guys just kind of fell over, but that's okay. We love these figures. Thank you guys. And like I said earlier, be on the lookout for the video once I get the Matt Cardona, once I get Brian Myers. I'll be sure to give you guys my point of view on those guys as well. But so far, very happy with Super 7. Very happy with these New Japan figures. Just enjoy them, guys. And again, if Wave 1, if you were a little bit disappointed on those, I assure you, you will not be disappointed with these. Great, great action figures to have. They scale great. Here is a Cody from Jazzwares. Fits in great with the guys. Here is Jushin Thunder Liger from Storm Collectibles. This one doesn't scale that great because he seems quite large for this series. And of course, Mr. Masahiro Chono back here, kind of on the small scale side. So those are kind of the comparisons to the other figures on the market. But just the really, really amazing figures, guys. You will not be disappointed. I can't reiterate that enough. Thank you, Brian Flynn. Thank you, Super 7. And thank you, New Japan. And thank you all you guys that put your lives at risk, to entertain us, in this industry that we all love, which is professional wrestling. Thank you, everybody, for watching this video. Thank you, everybody that has purchased some of the rings that I put for sale on eBay. I really appreciate all that support. Thank you, guys. And until we meet again.